Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you how to install an Ansible and how to deploy a playbook to a web server. So first, I'm going to do this particular experiment using a virtual machine. So as usual, you can see, I have just logged into my personal account where you can see no instance was running rightly, and I would like to create a new instance. Like I'm going to click launch instance, and I'm going to keep the instance name as Ansible, and number of instances one, that and all, like I'm going to create an instance of Ubuntu because certain things won't work perfectly in the Amazon Linux for this Ansible. So Ubuntu is a right AMA for doing this particular experiment. So I'm going to use the same thing. I'm going to keep everything as it is, and I'm going to launch this instance, and I'm going to proceed without the key pair, and I'm going to launch this instance. And you could see we have launched the instance. Click on the instance. You could see there is two Ansible, this is terminated and this is pending. Just to refresh it to make it to the running state. It takes some time to change its state to the running state. And once it comes to the running state only, like we can able to get into the terminal. Now it has been changed to the running state. Click on this Ansible, then click on connect. Then click on connect using EC2 instant connect. That is the default one. Click on connect. It is establishing the connection. It takes some time. First, like you have to update the libraries that is required for this virtual machine. We can use a command called sudo yum update. Then you can use sudo yum doesn't support, so you can use sudo apt update. Since it's an Ubuntu, it is updating the required libraries for this one. It installs all the required packages and libraries for this one, and it's complete. Like almost 51 packages are updated as we given the command called sudo apt update. Now, we have to install the Ansible. To install the Ansible, you have to use a command called sudo apt install Ansible. We want to give yes, give y. It takes some time to install the Ansible. The command that we use to install the Ansible is sudo apt install Ansible. Sudo is the super user. So if you don't use sudo, then it won't get installed. And once it is 100% complete, then you can verify the installation by typing the another command that I'll show you. So now everything is done. So to ensure that Ansible is installed or not by typing the command called ansible hyphen version to check whether Ansible is installed or not. So Ansible is installed on your virtual machine now. Like you can check like Ansible core has been installed with a version of 2.16.3. So now like we need to proceed with the experiment. So the first is like you have to make a directory for this Ansible by typing the command called mkdir Ansible, and after this like you can use the ls command to ensure whether the directory has been created or not. So now you can check like Ansible was created, and now you have to change the directory by using the command called cd Ansible, so that like Ansible came inside now. Now I'm going to use the command called VI command. VI is basically editor. Like if you're comfortable with Touch Nano editor, then you can use the same. But I'm comfortable with the VI editor, so I'm going to use VI. Then the file name. File name is playbook dot. The extension of this Ansible playbook file is .yml. So I'm going to create the file name as playbook.yml. VA playbook.yml. Then it comes to the editor mode. Then press I. I stands for insert mode. Then already I have the code with me. Just anyhow, I'll keep the code in the description part. You can use the same code and you can check it. So we are going to create an Apache server, and you're going to deploy this web page using this Apache server. That is the agenda. So press Ctrl Shift V to copy this code, and after copying this code, press Escape WQ. WQ stands for write and quit. Just quit and type ls to ensure playbook.yml is created or not. So since like we have created playbook.yml, so in order to see the content of this particular file, use the command called cat playbook.yml. And this is the code that we have just made, and we have created in the playbook.yml. And here you could see like there is one particular thing called a source, where you have to create one particular file called index.html.j2. So we have to create another file called index.html.j2, because when you run this file, like it refers to the source. This is a HTML file through which that web page or the web what is it, the application will be created. So we are going to create a simple application called hello world, and that is a place like this source is referring this index.html.j2. So we need to create another file called index.html.j2. After creating this one, press insert mode, then copy the index.html.j2 contents, which is the HTML file. You can see the hello world there. And when you run this, you'll see the hello world. But when you run this in the local machine only, you can be able to see, like when you type localhost in your browser, you could see this hello world. But we are using the virtual machine. So like I'll show like how to check the output. Press Ctrl Shift V, then press Escape WQ. Then how to check the index.html or J2 is created or not by typing ls command. If you type ls, you could see like we have created two different files. One is playbook.yml and another one is index.html.j2. So now like we need to run the file by using the command called ansible hyphen playbook space. How to run an YAML file? It's basically ansible hyphen playbook, and the file name. File name is playbook.yml. So how to run a file? It's ansible hyphen playbook and the file name. If you run this, So localhost has been created for deploying this web server. Take some time. Now everything is changed. Like in case if there is any error, like in fail, it will show like 1. So now like how to check the output in the virtual machine? It seems like we cannot open a web browser in a local machine. So the alternate way to check the output is by using the curl command. So now you can type the command called curl command. So curl is the virtual command for working on a browser. Like curl is basically a kind of a virtual browser on an virtual machine, and you can use curl http :/localhost. So in case if you are working on an local Linux machine, then you can directly after doing this particular process, in order to work on the terminal, like directly you can go to the web browser like Mozilla or Safari or what do you say, Chrome, and if you type localhost, then you can check the output there. If you type localhost, then I can the output here I cannot see the what you say the hello world, but I can see the content of the entire index.html j2. So if you type curl http localhost and if you press enter, you can see that hello world thing, like the entire index.html.j2 will get displayed here. So this ensures that the output works perfectly on the virtual machine. So that is a key difference between like when you work on a virtual machine and on a local machine. When you work on a local machine where your Linux or the Ubuntu is installed, then after running that ansible-playbook and the file name, so directly you can go to the browser and you can type localhost in the URL, like then that hello world will be displayed on your browser. So thanks for watching my video. Hope like you understand like how to install Ansible and how to create an Ansible playbook to deploy a web server. Thanks for watching the video.